My first interest was probably when I saw the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show. I was very young. I was only about 3 or 4 years old, but I remember it caught my attention. It was like, if you're a kid and you see like a fire engine go by and you say, hey, Mommy, I want to be a fireman. You know, it's like, I knew then I wanted to be a musician somehow, you know, intuitively. Ringo Starr caught my attention. And then after that, when I was in school, you know, I was in choir and I took band classes. And in the 70s, you know, when I was in high school and, you know, junior high school, you could take a couple band classes a day even for your electives, you know, if you wanted to be in the arts or whatever. So when I was in high school, which was 74 to 78, I took 3 band classes a day. I took marching band, wind ensemble, and orchestra. So those were all my what they called electives. So I took as much music as I could, which was great. My family was all musicians. My grandfather was a professor of music at Long Beach State University, so we came from a lineage of musicians in my family. My mother taught classical piano and choir in the school district, so I was always surrounded by music, and both my brothers played instruments as well. So yeah, that was really my life, and my household was very music driven. So it was a great way to grow up. I barely made it through school without music, you know, as I wasn't that interested in a lot of more of the curricular that was mathematics and science and stuff like that. I really, at a very young age, felt that music was my destiny, you know, and I always had that in my sights. And from a very young age, if you ask my mother, I always said, this is what I want to do. You know, it's like a kid that wants to be a dancer or a kid that wants to be an artist. A lot of times their parents might try to, you know, steer them in another direction, but that was just it for me, you know. It was just all I wanted was music. So there was a teacher named Terry Newman who is very well known in my life as being the guy that was instrumental in me being a professional musician. He taught my wind ensemble class, he taught my jazz class and my marching band. I was in the marching band as well. I wore the shako and I marched in parades, and he pulled me aside one day and he said to me, I've had a lot of students, I've taught a lot of kids, but there's something about you. You got something special, and I really think that you need to go for it. And when he said that to me, you know, I was like, that was, you know, coming from him, a guy that I really looked up to, is a very talented musician as well as a great teacher, that was the pinnacle moment for him to give me that blessing. Music is everything. Music is the common thread between everybody in the world. It's a universal thing. It's not about, oh, hey, let's take all the music out of schools and see how well they do just by sticking a bunch of, like, you know, math and science and stuff that kids really are force-fed a lot of the times. They need to be inspired to do things that make them smile as well. I can't say that some kids want to be lawyers and doctors early on. That's their destiny, and that's fine, but there's been scientific study that, you know, everybody in the world does better with music. It's through people in prisons to people that are, you know, if there's not music, you know, I mean, what else is there? I mean, to make you feel better. I mean, music always does that for all of us. I mean, you can be in a bad mood and music lifts you up, and it's been through history, it's brought peace. It's, you know, people like John Lennon and Bob Marley and, you know, John Coltrane, all those great artists have always said that that's the one thing in the world that will save the world if we could bring everyone together through it. So I think taking music, especially out of schools, is an absolute travesty, and I'm behind it 100% to try to bring it back. And I'm doing my own organization called Adopt the Arts, which I'm trying to at least help in the area of Los Angeles where the teachers are getting their green cards to be shut down for this, so there's not going to be any music for kids. And I don't know. I think it's the worst thing I've ever heard. So for me, you know, it was everything for me as a kid. So I can't imagine not having it.